Hello and welcome to How to Make More Sales with me, Anna Payne, supporting you to make more sales in a way that feels good for you and your clients. If you're ready for more sales, more impact, more success and more money on your terms, you're in the right place. Today I want to talk to you about one of the simplest concepts I teach and one of the most powerful. It's called sales fitness. Now, the NHS suggests we need 150 minutes of moderate activity a week for physical fitness. I suggest we need 150 minutes a week of sales activity to build sales fitness in our businesses. And that breaks down really neatly to 30 minutes a day, Monday to Friday. So today's episode is all about taking that approach to sales and how to take these small, consistent sales action that build a stronger pipeline and build your sales fitness. Let's talk about why this is so important, first of all. So, entrepreneur problem one. This is so common. Maybe you identify with it too. The roller coaster revenue. So when you have no clients or your projects have all finished, you have to do lots of sales and marketing activity. Therefore, you make sales. Therefore, you get busy. So you stop doing the sales and marketing because you are too busy in delivery. You finish delivering current projects, your pipeline's empty, and you end up with no clients again. So you move into that panic mode, that frantic marketing and selling, and the whole cycle starts again. Now that creates very boom, bust, spiky revenue, roller coaster revenue. And for most small business owners, riding that roller coaster, having that kind of inconsistent revenue is actually incredibly stressful. I did that when I first started this business and it was brand new. Of course, I had to do a lot of selling and marketing, and quite quickly I got busy. And because I was really busy with clients, I stopped selling so much, I stopped being so visible. And then I realised my new inquiry and lead flow had slowed down. My growth had slowed down. I had to solve that problem, and I had to solve it quite quickly. So I thought back to my early days of selling. I worked in an environment with big revenue targets. We also had really strict KPI targets, activities that we had to do a certain number of at a certain time each day. It was very prescriptive. Now, that is not the sort of environment I would thrive in now, but it definitely taught me the basics in selling. And one firm rule was that we had core sales time. So core sales time was twice a day, between 10 and 12 and 2 and 4 every day. Now, if any of you, like me, come from a recruitment background, maybe you recognise that. During that time, that sales time, if we were not on the phone making outbound sales calls, we really had to answer to the boss as to why not. And it did not matter if you were serving a client. It didn't matter if you were dealing with an urgent issue. Even if I had a job that I had to fill for the next day with a temp, or we wouldn't get paid, it didn't matter. That had to come after. During those core hours, you had to be on the phone and you had to be selling. That was non-negotiable. Now, there are many, many ways to achieve results. And for me, I'm definitely too much of a rebel to conform to these rigid rules. But all these years later, and right throughout my sales career, one thing has always stuck with me. The consistency with which you do your sales activity is always a great predictor of your results. So in this business, I decided to do two things. Number one, build my recurring revenue to cover my monthly costs and my base level salary, because that would give me much more certainty around income and much less of that stressful roller coaster. So I did that through subscriptions and through monthly payment plans. But that's a longer term strategy, because when you're building monthly recurring revenue, you are sacrificing short term cash. And yes, it's worth it. And yes, it builds up, but it takes time. So that was one strategy. And that's another podcast episode. My other important action was to immediately create a sales first practice, to make sure that my pipeline was always building and converting, no matter how busy I was with delivery or what else was going on. So I decided to go back to basics, back to having core sales time. And for me, I decided to do sales first, and I was going to do it 9 until 10 every day. Before the day even really starts, I've done an hour of sales. And it was originally an hour, but instead, to make it more accessible when I started to teach this to others, I changed it to 30 minutes. And actually, that is accessible for more people, and it still gets significant results. So anyway, I started to do this sales first process. And as I always do when I try things in my own business and they work for me, I then teach them to my clients. And since then, I have trained and talked on this topic many, many times over the years. I included it in my book, Everything You've Been Taught About Sales is Wrong, probably. And I'm talking about it again today here in this episode because I know that it works. I really believe that this is why almost every single day for the last few years, I have made daily sales. My stats are something like on 99% of all days, I will make sales. And it doesn't just work for me. It will work for anybody who adopts this process. And in fact, people message me all the time saying that this approach, this sales first, has completely changed the trajectory of their business. Even if they've never been clients of mine, they've heard me speak about it on stage or they've come to a free training and they've adopted it. It's been successful and it is now just fundamentally what they do in their business and how they make sales. So how cool is that to hear all these success stories? And I want the same for you too. So what happens in sales first? This is really about paying attention to the right things. And your attention is such a valuable resource as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a human in general. Our attention can be pulled in so many different directions, but your energy and attention are not free. So we need to stop treating them as if these are free and infinite resources. They're not. They are amongst your most valuable resources. So treat them that way. Be selective about where your energy and your attention goes. Actually, let's expand on that point a wee bit about attention. Because when it comes to success, whatever that means to us, when it comes to us achieving our goals, we might feel restricted. We might feel restricted by time, by energy, by circumstances, by capability, confidence, or something else. But studies show that the greatest human bottleneck is actually our attention because time is fixed. We can't get more time, but attention is selective. We can choose where we pay attention. So two entrepreneurs can have exactly the same time and exactly the same capability, but they can have radically different outcomes because of what they choose to focus on with the time that they have. So where they decide to put their attention directs their behavior. Their behavior drives outcomes, and outcomes reinforce future focus. So committing to sales first means making that positive decision about where you are putting your attention. And your attention will predict results. It is just a matter of where you choose to focus your attention. So let's get into step by step exactly what your 30-minute sales first routine might. So step 1, set up a repeating appointment and make it non-negotiable. I do 9 until 9:30 every day. I do the school run most days and I tend to get home somewhere between 8:35 and 8:40. So that means I've got time to have a coffee, switch on my laptop, read any emails or messages that have come in, maybe have a wee scroll, read the headlines, get ready for the day. By 9 a.m, I am in complete focus mode. I am ready to put my attention exactly where it needs to be, which is 30 minutes of income generating tasks, things that are going to directly bring sales and money into my business in the next 30 days. And the beauty of doing it first, sales first, is that by 9:30, I am done. All of that good work, that necessary work is done, and I'm free to deal with whatever delivery or projects are on that day. So many times people message me like, I wanted to do that, but I ran out of time. Oh, I've been so busy, I haven't had the chance. It's still on my to-do list. When you do it first, it's done. And actually doing it in that finite 30-minute block, it means that you know by 9:30 or whatever that time is for you, you'll be ready. So even if you have something urgent, even if you have something that you really need to get back to quickly, by 9:30 you can do that. So it takes away the risk of you being reactive to too many different things and actually missing your opportunity to do sales. And even if something requires an urgent first thing response, actually a response by 9:30 or 10 a.m. is still pretty acceptable. Or even if I see it in my inbox, a quick note at 8:45 to say, got this, I'm on it, I'll be in touch by 9:30 or I'll be in touch at 10. So this sales first, no matter what, it has to be protected sales time. So what actually happens in that time? Well, there is a very simple rule that it is direct income generating activity only. The tasks that you do must directly contribute to bringing sales into your business. I use the filter of in the next 30 days. If you have a longer sales cycle, it might be in the next 60 or 90 days. That's fine. Is this a direct income generating task? And when you always ask yourself that question, actually that will help you be really selective with your time, with your energy, and with your attention. The following types of activities absolutely fit into sales first time. So lead generation, sharing your offer, creating new sales conversations, personal outreach, tracking and following up with your leads, making offers, converting leads to clients, upsells to existing clients, win backs to lapsed clients, reviewing previous leads that did not convert and checking back in. All of these are direct lead generation, conversion, and sales tasks. So these count. Now, depending on how you prefer to work, there are two options for how you can organise your tasks during sales first time. Option A is you choose a single focus block. So you choose one income generating action and you do it intensely for 30 minutes, but you switch tasks up by the day. So day one might be all about lead generating content. Day two might be about personal outreach and creating new connections and conversations. Day three might be about check-ins with existing clients and upsells. So you get the idea. You do one thing a day, but you do it for the full focus 30 minutes. Or option B, you split your focus during the 30 minutes. So for example, you might do 10 minutes of new leads and new conversations, 10 minutes of follow-up, and then 10 minutes of sharing your offer and strategic visibility. But sales first means that every single week, making sure that you are bringing the right people into your world, that you are keeping track of them, that you're nurturing, that you're following up, and you're moving relationships forward. So you're taking people on that journey to the point. A really important thing that you can do when you are in this sales first time is to have a list of all of your active clients, your lapsed clients. I have a leads tracker. It's a Google sheet. It is very simple and easy to use. It's free. You can download it if you go to my website, annapayne.online/tracker. Download it. Effectively, that leads tracker is a working document that is telling you what is going on with your sales. These are my warm leads. These are my lapsed leads that didn't convert. These are all the sales that I've made. So you always have something to work from. So you might be listening to this thinking, I don't actually have that many people that I can follow up. I don't have lapsed clients that I can win back. I don't have existing clients that I can upsell to because I'm too new in business. That's fine. So your priority is to use your sales first time to start new conversations and to draw people into your world. And actually, if you use a leads tracker, having that is such a great visual cue, because if I open up my leads tracker, at certain times, I might look at it and think that tracker is looking a bit sparse. It's a bit empty. There aren't many names on it. So actually, 80 or 90% of my focus has to be about attracting new leads, creating new conversations, bringing new people. Other times, I will have leads coming out of my ears. I look at leads tracker and there are 200 names on there. What I need to spend time on is reaching out to these people, having conversations, nurturing the relationships, making offers, and following up to get a decision. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe later, but not just now? So I'm sorting these people one by one on the leads tracker. And until I've sorted through that big group, I don't necessarily want a lot of new people to come onto the tracker. So my focus is all about that nurture and convert. But then when I do that, I'm like, the leads tracker is looking a bit bare again. I need to act quickly. I need to make sure that my sales first time is all about bringing new people into the tracker. Okay, so far you have a recurring diary appointment at a time that works for you. Make it the same time every day, and then it just becomes ingrained in you. Number two, you have a clear understanding of what goes into that time with that filter test to make sure that you use the time wisely. So, question for you, do you feel ready to start sales first today, tomorrow? And challenge for you, can you commit to sales first for the next 30 days? See this as an experiment to see what happens if you stay consistent at this for 30 days. Detach from the outcome of the sales, commit to the activity. We can't always control the outcome, but we can absolutely control our activity. And if you commit to it for 30 days, here's what's going to happen. On day one and week one, especially if this is new to you, you are probably going to experience some resistance. Expect it. You're going to think, I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. I just need to clear my feet first. Something else has come in. I don't want to do this. So expect that level of resistance and expect the urge to deprioritize it because you're busy. But remind yourself, you have made this commitment and see this as a commitment you are making to yourself, to your business, and to your future success. It is equally as important as any commitment you would make to a client, if not more so. So, by the end of week one, when you have done it, regardless of whether you have wanted to do it every day or not, you're going to have some early evidence. You will probably have made some extra sales that you might think, oh, I wouldn't have made that sale if I hadn't done that activity. You will probably have made some extra money. You will likely acknowledge to yourself, if I hadn't contacted that person, or if I hadn't followed up, or if I hadn't reconnected, or if I hadn't done that post or sent that email or made that call, those things wouldn't have happened. You can already see some early evidence that this routine is starting to pay off. So you start to feel good about it. So actually, you go into week two feeling more confident, more committed to sales first. But again, week two, you're starting again on Monday. You might think, oh, I'll just do this first. I'll just do that. I'll just do that. Don't. Remember that commitment to yourself. Recommit to it. This is week 2 of 4. You are not going to deprioritize it. You are not going to skip a day, and don't allow any discomfort or hesitance or resistance to win. Do another week. You are going to get more sales. You will make more money. You will train your brain more that it is safe and positive to sell. And all of this starts to change the way that you think. You're building consistency. You're building competence. And from competence and consistency, of course, comes your sales confidence, your sales fitness. You are starting to be good at what you are doing. You're starting to spot exactly which sales activities are working. You're shifting from being reactive to proactive, and you are building a habit that is serving you, serving your clients, and things are feeling really good. By the end of your 4 weeks, I can guarantee that this is a habit that you can see the direct financial benefit of, and you will not want to give it up. Now, I know that life is life, and sometimes things do not go according to plan. Think about the 80-20 rule. You do the right things 80% of the time. Don't have all or nothing thinking. Don't think, oh, I've blown it, I'll just wait until next week. Instead, just commit to doing the best that you can. And if you are consistent 20 days out of the 30, you are so much further forward than you were at the beginning of that 30-day period. Sales first is so ingrained in me that I know even on the busiest of days, on most of those days, I want to do at least 1 or 2 things that are going to keep things moving forward. So here's an example. So if I am taking the first flight down to London, I'm sitting at the gate waiting to board. And of course, I can't follow up with anybody at 5 a.m. That would be ridiculous and definitely off-putting for most people. But what I can do is while I'm sitting waiting, I can make a really quick list in the notes app of my phone, the people I want to follow up with. I can type out those messages ready to send. I arrive in London by 8 a.m. usually. That is now a socially acceptable time to send those messages. So I can just copy and paste them and send them. Job done. And I've done some sales first activity. Maybe I've managed to reach out to 8 or 10 people. Now, other times I drop the kids off at school. I have to go straight to the station. I will go to the quieter end of the platform. And while I'm waiting, I will send voice notes, however many I can do before the train arrives. Or when I'm on the train, maybe I'll post a lead generating post on. So by the time I check my phone again, I've got leads, I've got comments, I've got DMs I can follow up on either on the way home or the next day. Another example of how to fit this in when you don't have that perfect 30-minute window. I might be at home, but my diary has simply not allowed me to put sales first in. But actually, when I am making a coffee, it might take 2 or 3 minutes for the kettle to boil. That's fine. I'll stand in the kitchen and I can send 1 or 2 messages in that time while I'm waiting for my coffee. So it's about finding these little opportunities, little gaps or habits that you can stack. So something that you do every day that you can habit stack with. So I'm always going to walk the dog, or I'm always going to be boiling the kettle. I'm always going to be putting my makeup on. That's why you see so many entrepreneurs who do Get Ready With Me lives and they talk as they're putting their makeup on or doing their skincare because they know that they do that every day. That's just an opportunity to be visible and to show up. So how can you find these pockets that will work for you? And not to do that every day, but to do that on the days when you can't manage sales first. All of these examples, I hope that they will just help you to step away from that kind of all or nothing thinking and that idea that the conditions have to be perfect, because that's not the case. Life is just life, and we just have to do the best that we can. And I believe we should never be waiting to make sales. Any sales activity is better than none. And even 5 or 10 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week, is going to take you much further ahead than doing none. If you are starting from zero sales time and zero sales activity, absolutely anything that you do is progress. So as always, your actions from today: download the leads tracker. It's annapayne.online/tracker. It's free. Populate that and use it. Have it open every day. That is your working document. Book the time in your diary, get started, and stay consistent for 30 days. Don't worry about the outcome, just worry about the action and then review it. Even if you are super resistant and thinking it won't work for me, I challenge you to put that to the test, to do it fully and to see what happens. Because remember, we cannot control the exact moment that somebody is ready to buy, but we absolutely can control making it really easy to buy. Track what you do, watch what happens, and tell me. Reach out, get in my DMs, email me, tell me what happens when you do this. And as always, thank you so much for listening. If this episode has helped you, if it's sparked ideas, please do subscribe, leave me a review, and share it on social media. That helps me hugely, and I so appreciate your support. And if you are looking for more resources to help you make more sales, do come on over to my website where you can find the free leads tracker, and you can also claim 30 days free at my Connections and Growth online networking club. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much.